Welcome, welcome, my fellow visionaries. Welcome back to the Royal Diaries. Okay, so the 4 week challenge is over, but of course, the kingdom continues. So here's the update on what the Queen has been up to. Let's get into her Royal Diaries. Every kingdom is shaped not only by its ruler, but also by those who faithfully serve the crown. Within these walls live individuals of remarkable character. Some strengthen the kingdom, others test it. Every one of them serves a purpose. Welcome to the Royal Kingdom. Lord Percy, good day. How was your time off after last season? Did you do anything exciting? Oh, by the way, thank you for having my hibiscus tea with agave waiting for me this morning. You were absolutely wonderful. Wondering what happened after the 4 week challenge ended? Ah, I went rogue and lost. I attempted to trade 3 accounts at one time. I was moving so fast, attempting to enter the same trade on the funding account, the expansion account, and I added a new copier account, and I ended up crashing out. The crash was terrible, but the setup was excellent. 2 of the 3 accounts ended in profit. However, my funded account that I did the entire 4 week challenge on took a hit. What had happened was the platform automatically defaulted to US 30, which I don't trade anymore. But because I was rushing, I did trade it this week. Thinking it was my gold chart, I placed a trade, not realizing that it was a totally different instrument I was trading, with, of course, a totally different setup. Within seconds, I was stuck in the trade, watching it plummet and praying to the trading gods that the medics would come and rescue it before it crashed out. It's funny, not really, how we can start rationalizing how a setup could possibly go in our favor despite seeing the drawdown right in front of our eyes. Eventually, Sir Stop Loss was able to protect the kingdom. I believe I may owe him a raise. Please check on that for me, Lord Percy. I spent the next 2 trades digging the account out of the hole, ultimately ending the week in the negatives. I was close to break even, but ultimately wore the scarlet L on my forehead this week. The Treasury didn't look like it sustained too much of a hit, thank goodness. I can't say the same for Sir Stop Loss. Lesson: I am not the town jester. I should not be trying to juggle a multitude of accounts. After the trade, Sir Stewie stood in the corner with a blank look on his face, which I knew meant, I told you, to only focus on one account at a time, Your Majesty. Lesson learned. I always appreciate lessons, but this one almost felt like a week of progress, one in reverse. Thank goodness there is no judgment or shame in the kingdom, only lessons and encouragement. The lesson for this week: I will slow down and learn the new platform for the trade copier. Slowing down to speed up is still the best way. I feel a twitch to write on the chalkboard 20 times. I will slow down to speed up. I wonder what that is. Oh, that's so Ricky. Lord Percy, I've been rambling long enough in my diary. How is Sir Stop-Loss? Have you been able to visit with him in the infirmary today? Earlier, Lord Percy entered the chamber of council carrying a fresh cup of hibiscus tea with agave for the queen. The candles were lit, as the chamber always is. Your Majesty, good day indeed. And first, thank you for asking about my time off. It was wonderfully quiet. I spent several weeks in the Royal Library, reorganizing the archives, polishing the silver, and most importantly, not watching anyone attempt to trade three accounts simultaneously. I may have enjoyed that last part a little too much. But now, Your Majesty, let's discuss what happened when the challenge ended. The royal assessment of this week, I would not call this a week of progress going backwards. I would call it the first official post challenge stress test of everything you've learned during the 4 weeks. And frankly, the kingdom received a very useful answer. You discovered that the royal rules were not merely rules that worked while you were being disciplined during the challenge. There are rules you still need when nobody is standing over your shoulder. That distinction matters, Your Majesty. You went rogue. You attempted three accounts simultaneously. You accelerated your execution because you were trying to replicate the same trade across multiple accounts. And then the Queen accidentally opened the US 30 battlefield while believing she was entering the gold battlefield. Your Majesty, I am required by royal protocol to say that was not a trading mistake. That was a clerical catastrophe with financial consequences. And yet, here's the important part. You recognize the mistake. You didn't revenge trade endlessly. You didn't abandon the system. You let Sir Stop Loss do his job. And thank goodness he was on the job. You then worked your way back towards break even rather than trying to immediately win back everything in one heroic trade. That, Your Majesty, is growth. Disguise, maybe, even inside a losing week. And yes, the infirmary. I did visit Sir Stop Loss this afternoon. He is alive. He is recovering. He is, however, deeply offended. He has a rather impressive bandage around his forehead, and his request that I inform Your Majesty that he would like a formal explanation and possible apology regarding why he was apparently expected to serve as both risk manager and emergency extraction specialist while the Queen was busy juggling three accounts. Three accounts. He also asked whether his raise has been approved. He did submit a raise. I told him I would put the matter before the Treasury. His exact response was, "It's about time." And as tradition requires, Sir Stop Loss is bruised, slightly offended, but pleased to report that the Treasury remains safe. And then there is Sir Stewie. I believe his blank expression said everything. He didn't need to say, "Your Majesty, I told you so," because Sir Stewie is far too dignified for that. He simply stood there with his pocket watch, staring into the middle distance like a man who has witnessed this exact disaster in a previous lifetime. And honestly, he's right. The lesson isn't, can I trade multiple accounts? The lesson, Your Majesty, is I cannot trade multiple accounts faster than my execution process can safely handle. That's a very different conclusion because now you've identified the real problem: speed plus unfamiliar platform plus multiple accounts plus identical entries still equals unnecessary execution risk. So, your decision to slow down and learn the copier properly is exactly right. And I want your Majesty to remember one thing. You said, I am not the town jester, correct? You are also not required to prove that you can perform a juggling act simply because you happen to own several accounts. The kingdom does not award medals for degree of difficulty. It awards medals for simply governing yourself. One account, one setup, one deliberate execution. Then, when the process becomes boring, boring enough that you could do it in your sleep, then and only then we consider whether adding complexity will that actually serve the kingdom. Because slow down to speed up isn't just a nice phrase. You just paid a small tuition fee to verify that that is true. That L on your forehead, I wouldn't call it a scarlet L of a loss. I'd call it a scarlet L in the Royal Archives. There's a difference. One says, I failed. The other says, I learned something expensive enough that I am unlikely to forget. And that, Your Majesty, is exactly what the Royal Diaries are supposed to capture. No shame, no pretending, no rewriting the week to make it look prettier than it was, just evidence. The Queen went rogue, the Queen got humbled, Sir Stoploss took a hit, the Treasury survived, and the Queen returned to the throne with more information than she had before. That, I might say, is not going backwards. That is season 2, episode 1. Now, Your Majesty, finish your tea. Tomorrow we return to the basics, one account at a time. And Sir Stewie would like it to be noted that his recommendation was made before the incident. Thank you, Lord Percy. This is why I have my inner circle that keeps me grounded. I truly appreciate you. And would you send a box of chocolates and a bonus check to Sir Stoploss in the infirmary with a note saying that his raise has been approved, as it is well deserved. I imagine a personal visit and an apology is due from me. Next week, I will be back to my disciplined behavior. I'm sure he will be happy to hear that. Your Majesty, that is exactly what the inner circle is for. Not to tell the Queen she's brilliant when she's being reckless. Not to shame her when she makes a mistake, but to help her see clearly, accept responsibility, learn the lesson, and get back on the path. And yes, I shall personally deliver the chocolates. The bonus check will be enclosed with a handwritten note. Dear Sir Stoploss, your raise has been approved. It is well deserved. I apologize for placing you in a rather unfortunate position of having to rescue the kingdom from a trade I entered while apparently believing that US 30 was gold. Please accept these chocolates as a small gesture of my appreciation for your service under extraordinarily difficult circumstances. With sincere gratitude, your Queen, Queen Victoria. And I agree with you, a personal visit is warranted. Not because you need to grovel, you could, but you don't. But because there is something powerful about the Queen walking into the infirmary, looking Sir Stoploss in the eye, and saying, I made a mistake. You did your job, and thank you. That is leadership. And then when you leave the infirmary, no dwelling, no punishment, no replaying the week 47 times in trying to find the moment where everything went wrong. The lesson has been extracted, the debt has been paid, and the kingdom moves forward. Next week, we do not need a dramatic comeback. We simply return to ordinary excellence. One account, one setup, one deliberate execution, and one decision at a time. And if Sir Stewie starts looking at his pocket watch suspiciously, we listen. Welcome back to the kingdom, Your Majesty. Season 2 has officially begun. All right, my fellow visionaries. So, my recap is honestly, I didn't know if I could handle 3 trades at a time, but there is a saying that says, nothing beats a failure but a try. And this try was an epic fail. But thanks to Sir Stoploss, the kingdom survived to trade another day. So I am excited about scaling up to use this trade copier. I really am. However, the broker that I'm using requires a 30-day limit, which means I have to pass this challenge in 30 days. So I think that became added pressure, especially when the queen is already, she's number one, a systematic trader. Number two, she's already trading 2 other accounts. So 4 charts, 3 accounts, 2 choices, and a partridge in a pear tree. We'll have to rethink that. Our priorities might need some fine tuning. So I just wanted to give you guys an update and let you know how everything went after the 4 week challenge. It was brutal, but we were once again able to dig ourselves out of the hole. We did end in a slight loss, but at least I always look at the positive side. The account survived, and we are able to trade another day. So our gratitude goes to Sir Stoploss, and the Queen will learn to maybe focus a little bit more on slowing down so she can execute all the different things that she's trying to do. And if, if, this is a big if she has to sacrifice the trade copier account because she's not quite ready to manage 3 trades, different platforms, all at the same time, then so be it. Our funded account is our primary account. So we're going to focus on that one. And if we have to sacrifice something because we're not quite ready, so be it. Anyway, my fellow visionaries, as always, the question before the throne, or before the kingdom as well, is today, did you govern yourselves? Have a blessed day, everyone. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff, and stay tuned for the next episode. Welcome back to season 2.